Good day, good evening, and good morning, or whatever it is. Today, let's go to my top 5 of cheap mounts. What I mean cheap mounts is anything that's under 100k. Because you might find yourself in a position where you're kind of low on money, and you want to have some mounts with some utility to them. So, let's go over my 5 picks. Starting out at number 5, we have the Traveler's Tundra Mammoth. Now, I know it's an old mount. You can get it for 2,000 gold in Dalaran at May Francis, if I remember correctly. And for those of you that might be new, this mount has some pretty nice utility to it. It has a repair guy, where you can repair stuff, and it has Hakmut of Argus, who basically has food and drinks. No? The funny thing is that you can kick people off of it. Now, by now, everybody's familiar with Brontosaurus and its ability to have an auction house as one of its companions. Besides the fact that you can carry people exactly like this. But this one is under 100k, and if you're not really that big of an auction house player, this one really should fit. There's also the Yak that has the transmogrify thing, and that's also good, but it's still not under 100k. What my plan is for this is to hit as low, spend as little money as we can on stuff. So let's go to number 2, which, as you can see, I mean, you can just guess them by their image, is the Sky Golem, introduced in Pandaria. Feat of Goblin Engineering. Now, the Sky Golem also has the mechanized lumber something, which you can get for 300 if you collect 300 toys. But this one will, I think, be a little bit cheaper. Now, you're gonna have to farm the mats for this one, but you can also find it on the auction house. I found this one with like 34k at some point, and that was like a good price back then. And what his utility comes from is the fact that it lets you gather herbs as if you were a druid without dismounting. And if you're a druid, this is useless to you. But if you're not a druid and you're a paladin, or you're basically any other class, this mount is God's gift to mankind. Let's go to number 3 and we'll reveal the most expensive mount, the Sandstone Drake. Now, the vial of sand is craftable, yeah, but it fetches a pretty good price if you want to sell it. The thing about this mount is that it's a flying mount, the same as the Sky Golem. I forgot to mention, the Sky Golem is a flying mount. But it also has the benefit of the Traveler's Thunder Mammoth, where people can ride you. And that just sounds funny. It's a very useful mount, as you can see. If you have friends that you want to take places and they don't have flying unlocked, but you have. So, that's always good in my opinion. Plus, it's a dragon, and I like dragons. There are other mounts that offer the same benefit of being flying mounts, in which you can take a friend with you. But I just like this one, to be honest. I like dragons in general. I found this bad boy with 64k. But if you go after the crafting regions and all the necessary recipes, it will be cheaper. But it's also a good money maker, if you ask me. So hey, if you have some free time, want to get a mount and make some money, this is an option. Now going to probably the second least expensive mount is the Chauffeur. Now, this is the Mechano Hog or the Mech Engineer, whatever, and you get to be rode around. You are basically driven around by a guy from your preferred faction. If you go with Horde, you're gonna get an Orc. Of course, it's an Orc. Now, this one is achievable. This one you can get after you have 35 heirlooms. The thing with this is that 35 heirlooms will reach you around 17.5k. So it's cheaper than the Terrible Standard Mammoth. And it comes with some benefits if you're new to the game and you've seen people in this but never knew what it does. Well, the benefit is, let's start with disadvantage first. This mount is completely locked at 60% speed. This one will never go to 100% like the normal Mechano Hog or any other flying or any other traveling mount. But it comes with a few perks. You can use it at level 1. And while level 1 isn't what it used to be anymore thanks to Exile's Reach, I still think it's good to have to be able to use a mount while doing Exile's Reach. Makes traveling faster, my opinion, if you're not a shaman or any other class that has to travel for. It also comes with something very unique. Like, if you let me open up my collection and go to my mounts, you see that I have the comfortable rider's barding on them. Because I don't like being dazed, stunned, and thrown off my horse when I'm going around new zones. I find that to be a very annoying mechanic, and yeah, screw that. But this mount doesn't need that. This mount comes with it incorporated, and I guess the logic is, since you're not the one driving and mobs are attacking you and they're not attacking the driver, you're the one that gets hit and all, but the mount can still go on. And I love the bone sign. Anyway, for the next one, we're gonna have to go a little bit closer to water. And the thing is that this is one of the few mounts that I really would consider a necessity. And this is the Reins of Poseidon, the subdued seahorse. Now, for this one, it does not give water breathing, so that's a problem. But it is a water mount that has the same speed as the sea turtle. Now, the sea turtle is a little bit more expensive on the auction house, and it's a little bit harder to find, honestly. And of course, the sea turtle is better because it's amphibious. You can also use it on land. But the Reins of Poseidon, or what was it called again? Subdued Seahorse, has this pretty neat advantage of being able to swim underwater and be an easy farm. The Reins of Poseidon are a guaranteed drop from Poseidon in Vajalzar or whatever, that water region from Cataclysm. I've got this boy with like 800 gold, so depending on your luck, you might find it at under 1000 gold. And I think that's amazing, and it's a water mount, so of course it's gonna be good. It's faster than your normal swimming, and well, really, that's about it. Now, I wish I could end it here, but I'm not gonna go into secret mounts like the Lucid Nightmare and all, which are kind of free, but you have to invest some time. But if you want to invest a little time and get a pretty good thing, never forget that there's always the magic broom that can be used on Hallow's End. The disadvantage of this mount is, of course, it can only be used on Hallow's End. This is an honorable mention, by the way. So, going back to the magic broom, it can only be used on Hallow's End, but it has an instant cast, so you're not going to wait a little for it. You can, and I think that really gives it a lot of utility, the fact that you just pop it and that's it, like a potion. And, well, it's based on your flying speed, so it's a flying mount that you can insta-pop. Which is also easy to get because you need just to farm the Headless Horseman. And if you have like 1 or 2 characters, or 3 maybe, that are already over level 45 that you're trying to get the Reins of the Headless Horseman, yeah, you will get this at some point. I think I have one like each character I have. So it's always a good one. This is my honorable mention. And mostly because of the instacast. Of course, the disadvantage is kind of big. You're going to have to wait until Hallow's End to use it after Hallows End passes, so you're gonna have to wait a year. I'm not really sure many people are that willing to do this. And what else? Oh yeah, this mount also has an advantage if you want, if you desperately wanted to RP or reenact the scene from the Master and Margarita, you could do it. For those that don't know it, it's basically the scene where a woman turns into a witch and she gets naked and flies on her broom. But to each his own. Anyway, thank you for watching.